There we go. Welcome everybody to episode 70 of the Gecko Pod. We are a podcast for the gecko community where we talk about breeding geckos as a hobby and as a business. And my name is Harry, Zero's Geckos, AJD Reptiles. And today we have plant people, our plant friends, but also gecko friends and just friends in general. We have Phil and Lexi at Fontanimal Plant House. How you guys doing?
Hey. How's it going?
What's up? You guys are in your warehouse.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. You guys we know you guys through AJ? AJ also knows you guys through Gabby. Is that kind of how?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. How did?
At the same time.
I think we bought our second gecko ever from AJ.
Okay.
First gecko from Gabby, and it was from the lives.
Yeah.
And we met at the Greensboro Repticon to do the handoff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We did. You're with your dad.
Yeah, I was with my dad.
That was
Dad.
Local show too.
It was like a meet behind 7-Eleven deal, and he's like,
Was it how long ago did you guys meet each other, AJ?
It must have been almost 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was right when we moved here, which was almost 3.5 years ago that we moved here.
It was probably in the fall of 2021.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
I think so.
Like fall of 2021. So almost 3 years.
So you guys moved to North Carolina 3 years ago, and you started Fontanimal?
Yes.
Okay. Or did you start it when you guys were in Florida?
We actually started. So we were selling plants. When we were in Florida.
Okay.
But nothing like we obviously are now. But
Yeah,
we kind of
officially when we
were just had a few, But yeah, we actually we realized. So our friends, we had a friend in Miami, and then we realized that we had a bunch of these plants, and we were like, "Yo!" And they're crazy amount of money, and we're we had Thai Constellation in particular, and we had we were that's So we posted one just for fun, and then we realized
it was the craziest experience.
Everyone hundreds of thousands of comments. Everyone was freaking out, oh my god! And then it was dude, my friend had a forest of them, and we're oh yeah. And then they were okay, well, I guess we can sell these. So that's kind of how it happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because during COVID, the plant market went insane, right?
It did.
It was like the gecko market a lot, but probably even on a next level plane of because everything was selling crazy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there's been people that's been into this plant for thousands, freaking so many years. Crazy. Doing airways for 50
There's
years.
generations of
There's
families
generational
that own nurseries that we buy plants from today, which is really cool.
So definitely,
But in COVID, prices went up. The demand for everything went up. Sellers increased.
Right.
All the Facebook groups, everything was just a big boom.
Yeah. There's plants that were literally people were throwing them away for 50 years. They were throwing them away like they were just yard trash, leaves. And then
all of a sudden
they're worth
something on
dollars.
Facebook. Yeah.
Wow.
That's we had,
that's how Geckos was, right, Harry? You talk about how basically you could put anything on Morph Market, or you could post anything on your IG story and it would sell. That's just how COVID was.
Yeah.
I think for any hobbies that were favorable to being in your house by yourself, they went crazy.
Yeah.
I think a lot of entrepreneurs just came about too during even just for anything. People build Legos out of their house and sell them now, and have businesses. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, live streaming and people opening Pokemon cards and all sorts of crazy stuff.
If I wasn't doing this, that's what I'd be doing for sure.
Hey, we might have a second business, Phil, that we got to go into.
Oh, you got some Pokemans?
I'm a Pokemon master. No.
You're lying. I don't believe it.
I'll show you off stream.
You didn't catch them all.
I don't believe it. I got a serious collection. It would really. It's it should be in a vault somewhere.
Hey man, now we know what our next calling is.
Yeah.
Pokey live streams. There we go.
The Pokey Pod.
Pokestop.
It rolls better.
I might
It starts with a P.
Hey, you think?
Oh my
When
god,
did-
yeah.
When did you guys get geckos again? Like, so when you moved to North Carolina with plans, with the intention to start a business, right?
We moved. We had like 20 leopard geckos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had
Gecko.
Phil and his uncle had a lot of tortoises and leopard geckos.
I've had leopard geckos since I was probably 10 years old, breeding leopard geckos.
He has a very extensive reptile background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my uncle had me and him had like over 200. Well, he raised me, so yeah, we had over at one point like probably 300 leopard geckos. Yeah. And he had different crazy.
Wow.
We had like 200 snakes. We had like crazy, and it would just go in waves. We had monkeys. We had, I mean,
monkeys.
This is a very Florida upbringing.
And we had tortoises, and he would, we used to go to reptile shows, and then we would just like sell everything. He would sell the tortoises, buy a bunch of snakes, sell the snakes, buy all geckos, sell the geckos, buy monitors. It was just a crazy he would just go waves and just but he always came back to the tortoises. So
yeah. So what was that like? Were you pretty involved with that when you were a kid? Like in the care and.
You should have seen my room. My entire room since I was like literally in elementary school. I used to get the reptile magazines. He got me a subscription. Well, even when we didn't live together, but yeah, he got me a subscription to reptile magazines since I was like 10, dude. And I would get them and get all the fold outs, the posters. The posters.
Yeah.
The magazine came with a poster. And my entire room, literally, I don't know who let me in charge of decorating, but my entire room was literally like covered like spam, like graffiti.
You were geeking out on reptile stuff.
You didn't have like movie posters. You just had all the fold outs.
I had no wall space, brother. It was pure, it was just pure like different eyelash vipers and just
awesome.
Like geckos and just like crazy. Every poster and every cool one that I liked, I would cut it out and just
yeah.
You didn't have supermodels. You had
Steve Irwin
on the wall.
Like I used to watch when I was a kid, like straight up, I'll just watch Animal Planet every single day, all day.
That's awesome.
Just that's all I watched. Like I swear, that's all I watched. Like
that's crazy. You didn't, but you got into plants mainly, but not the reptiles.
Yeah, well, my uncle always said I mean, we're obviously on a reptile, but he does if you want to make $1 million in the reptile business, you have to spend $2 million. That's how he looks at it. He just it was always very hobby. It was always we loved it, but it's not. We're not here to. We used to vend every reptile show, but he used to. It was just never really all his babies he would just sell them for food, he would get
to pay for food for the reptiles.
Yeah, he would get maybe another cool pair of tortoises that he didn't have before. He would sell 50 babies, and just keep swapping out that. Selling for a dime on the dozen. But.
So he was truly more of a hobbyist than trying to make a living off of it.
Still a hobbyist, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody would come, and he even had Fish and Wildlife come, and they would issue him rehabilitation stuff. They would come. He did it for so long. Someone that they confiscated bog turtles or something cool, they would temporarily home them with him and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah, he has all his CITES and stuff like that. So it was
that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then sorry, Ajay, real quick. And then Lexi, did you grow up with reptiles as well, or you just kind of fell into the plant world with Phil?
No animals really in our house ever. No dogs or cats or anything. Not that I was a. Oh my god!
We're good. You're good.
Camera down, guys.
Let's see your dog while your camera's down there.
Come here.
Come here.
We want to see Sunny.
He's too big to be picking up right now. This boy is so big.
Hey.
There he is.
We gotta zoom in on the dog.
He's being a quiet boy. Harry always liked to look at dogs on the Gecko Pod, so here you go, live in the flesh.
Oh, so cute.
Sunny is here.
I'll send you all the hair because if I pet him long enough, it'll just make a hairball, and I can just send you half. I was not waiting. He just wants to bite everybody's face off. That's all.
He's mouthy. Yeah. My dog is mouthy too. Yeah, I had two dogs that shed a lot, and then after a while, so when they passed, then I got a new dog, a Schnauzer, which doesn't shed, which is nice. But this
Oh,
dog is
that is
crazy, so
that is
it's a
nice.
trade-off.
Come here.
Yeah.
We were not ready for the shed.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's a big difference. So talk to us about, I guess, your current, before we jump into kind of like business and just talking about kind of your operation and stuff. Could you talk a little bit about your animals now that you have? What you guys kind of, what the animals look like for you now, as far as what you have and what you had when I first met you versus what you have now, kind of the evolution of that.
When you first met us, we probably had like 10 ball pythons, like 20.
A bunch of tortoises.
We had probably 50 different tortoises.
Yeah, you had a lot of tortoises.
We had,
albino red-eared
oh,
sliders.
and we had like about 15 different types of morphs of red ear sliders.
And now we don't have really any turtles.
So my uncle moved. He got like a really like farmland basically. So we got rid of all the tortoises, and he has them on his on his property. We had the intentions of moving here and like kind of like making like a community for the tortoises outdoors and doing like a huge like area for them. But the wildlife in by our area, there's like crazy amount of foxes and coyotes, so that was impossible for us. So we ended up having to keep them indoors, and
I'm sure they're much happier in Florida too.
Yeah.
To be outside.
Yeah, we see people like with the New Jersey, what was the guy, Golden State tortoises, which he's more by the coast, but he does beautiful setups, like naturalistic, like crazy setups, and that was really awesome. I've always liked that.
But yeah, now we don't really have any turtles anymore. We have crested geckos, a bunch of new cow stuff, and then Phil's recently been getting into micro geckos.
Yeah, I'm really interested in micro geckos, dude. But I didn't know how small. I didn't realize how small they were. So
it's in the name.
Small, and I can't see them, son of guns. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
like, damn. No, but they're really beautiful. I'm really obsessed with the Spirodactylus. So we got like 10 different Spirodactylus right now.
Wow.
They're doing really good. When I get new animals, I'm just like so much anxiety about like care and like what do they require, but it's basic, dude. Like at the end of the day, it's basic. Just throw some leaves in there, you're good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how everyone is. Like you get something and you're so nervous, you're like, what's the care? Like like do they need light? Like how long? Like do they need what substrate? Everything goes out the window. Like,
are the micro geckos like pretty fragile in the sense of like the care, or is it pretty simple to you guys?
To be honest, they've been really good for us. I'm pretty much treating them like Urodactylodes right now.
Okay.
But they can, they're from like Cuba, so imagine like they are from like basically like Florida beach, but like not on the beach, but they're like kind of borderline,
like scrub forest,
a couple miles from the beach.
Yeah.
So it's sandy, and then it's really hot. It's hot, but it's not like crazy hot, but it's windy, but it's not like super humid, but it's like humid, really humid. I don't know. So anyways, we haven't killed any. Good. They're doing great.
That's awesome. And then you had mentioned Urodactylodes. I know that's a big focus for you too, as far as your geckos.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a mild obsession with Urodactylodes.
So we have all but the Symmetricus. So anybody wants to sell us some.
Yeah, Symmetricus. I'll definitely.
We're in the market.
I got a loan mail from Gabby. That's all I have.
Yeah, I love the Urodactylodes. Yeah, we ended up having like, I just had how many adults? I don't know. It was like 40.
We have
40 adults now.
Wow.
So yeah, we actually boxed them up, and I'm like, I didn't realize, and I kept pulling them out. I'm like, I didn't realize how many. And so you deli cup them all and put them in your. Wow, I got a lot.
Did you move all your animals into the warehouse now?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So is the house totally animal and plant free?
Yep.
Wow.
Really?
It's empty.
It echoes.
It's like we don't even live there.
Is that nice, or are you thinking that might need to change?
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Just need some more furniture or something. I don't know. It like echoes too much
it
now.
Echoes. We're gonna try to do some maintenance. And
did you leave some house plants in your front room?
I'm sorry. What
Did
was
you
that?
leave some house plants, like some of your like front room plants, or did you take those
Like
all
at
out?
the house?
Yeah.
No, literally everything
We
is
have
out.
one skin
Oh,
house,
wow.
which we
Oh,
forgot,
you did.
and the only reason it's there is because we forgot it. It's so
Yeah.
bad. It's so bad, but it's like kind of like that thing where it's like you go home.
I didn't want
You
to
don't
work
want to
when
bring.
I went home.
You don't want to bring work to home.
I get it. I
So
get
it's
it.
like,
And
Do you guys
everything's
have
here.
the
All of our substrate, all of our spray, our
Yeah.
everything is here, so we might as well just care for them
Mm.
all in one place.
Yeah.
do you guys have the animals in a separate room in the warehouse, or is it
Yeah,
outside?
so we have this whole warehouse area here where our plants are growing, and you see the piranha.
Oh.
And then there's like a storefront or like a showroom area, and it's that's where all the animals are at.
Are you going to eventually open that up to the public, or is it going to stay private, you think?
not anytime soon.
We're out in the open about it. If we do anything public, it'll probably be like by appointment only.
Or like a
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because we're so busy and having to like constantly have someone there to,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
like traffic moving through. I feel like it'd be a little too much, but
You weren't inspired by going to see Flora Fauna Wake Forest?
oh my god, it was
Uh-huh.
so beautiful.
Yeah, that's cool.
But I can
Yeah.
only imagine the work that Gabby had
Yeah.
to put into that. It's a
Oh
lot.
man.
Not
Yeah.
built like that. Gabby's
She's
built
built
different.
different.
Mm.
She is. She takes on quite a bit.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. They did a great job.
Yeah,
They-
the store is gorgeous. It looks so good.
Yeah, I gotta come out and visit Gabby and you guys, Phil and Lexi, to see your place too.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
So, talking about the warehouse, tell us a little bit about, I guess, I'm interested to hear just from a business perspective, not even just plant specific, but from a business perspective, kind of how things grew and expanded to the point where you're at now, as far as at the house, how that went with your business, with I guess building a customer base through socials, through auctioning, through Instagram, through Facebook, all those different avenues, and kind of how that continued. Because I've been, I came to your house 3 years ago, and it looked very different from the last time I came to your house before you moved into the warehouse.
Yeah.
So
Crazy how fast.
how did that all go? Could you kind of give us a timeline or kind of a walkthrough and maybe some key moments that you think were transformative in the business?
I mean, man, it's just like, it's kind of like the plants, dude. You just, every year we just grow and multiply,
I think we just had set certain goals for ourselves.
Yeah.
And
So what does that look like?
like-
Is that 1 year goals, 5 year goals? Was that financial goals?
We set a lot of weekly goals, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every week we have a goal of financial goals that we want to hit. But then also even just like the hobby fun part of it, like the breeding is our main, like the anthurium here. That's our baby.
Yeah.
That's what we do really well.
Hmm.
And we just have, just like the crested geckos, where you have like an idea for putting two genes together and mixing and doing all of that. That's kind of like what we like to think about when we're breeding the anthurium too. So we have a lot of goals with that, and like things that we want to make or things that we haven't seen that we want to, or just like add to this plant,
Bring it to the market.
bring
That
bring
we don't
different
see,
things.
or just like in general, just things that aren't available, like that we try to buy, and we're like, damn, that's not available. Why is that not available?
So
Let's try to make it available.
yeah, if we can get our hands on it, then we'll try to produce it to bring more to the community.
Yeah. Just curious, did you guys grow quicker than anticipated? Because you moved in 2021, right, to North Carolina. You started Fontanimal,
Yeah.
and yeah, now you have like a warehouse. You've expanded. Was it on track with what you guys were planning, or is it like, oh, cool, like we're doing well, and it just came quicker than you guys thought?
No, we just kind of blinked and it happened. But
Yeah, I do feel that way.
we do, but we do everything
Yeah.
like slow. Like, we need a couple shelves. Okay, let's go get a couple shelves. Let's get a couple lights.
We just kind of like
Everything is,
add
like,
on
really
as
slow.
we go. It wasn't ever like we need to take out a loan or
Okay.
whatever to like make this happen. We always
Yeah.
just make it happen ourselves. And just add on. And then before you know it, our whole basement and extra spare bedrooms were full of shelves and lights and plants, and you couldn't even walk anymore. We're like, something's got to give. Like,
Well,
we got to do something. So this
I was
place
literally
just
shimmying, like trying to get stuff out.
Like we couldn't even work together in the same room.
Like if we literally couldn't even work together in the same room. We're like, it's too tight. Like, and we knew it was bad when our entire floor was literally, we couldn't even access the shelves. And we needed to do this for about a year. To be honest, like we could have moved out. We could have moved out like 2 years ago.
Wow. Yeah. So you guys were just kind of saving up money for the warehouse.
Not necessarily saving up. We just, in general,
it just kind of happened. Actually, this place, we had been looking in the area and nothing was available, and then just randomly,
it was strictly
happened.
Availability. Like I had nothing more.
Randomly happened. And
that it was unbelievable. Like we just we've been looking forever. Like
it was something we were ready for, but something we weren't ready. You know what I mean? Like we were ready to move and like do all that, but we didn't know it was going to happen right then and there.
Yeah,
I've had shops since the last 10 years. I've had mechanic shops. I've had 4 or 5 mechanic shops. So I've always had warehouses and buildings, and even when I was in
it was just finding the right space.
Yeah.
Or finding a space that you could get.
Yeah.
That our plants would be able to grow and be comfortable and secure.
Yeah.
Which
have you
all of that stuff?
In Florida, everywhere it's a dime a dozen, but in North Carolina, it's not.
How has the building been? Has there been any major hiccups as far as the environment or?
Everything's a hiccup.
Every day is
a hiccup. I mean, AC goes out. What's wrong with AC? The freaking toilets
today
are flooding.
We had a plumber
I had a plumber out because the toilets are flooding. Everything's backed up. Nothing. We didn't even usually we didn't even the sink literally was overflowing. Like we don't understand. And then apparently we just found out the whole building runs through our pipes. So it's like now somebody else down there flushed something, and it messes us up. Like it's crazy. So. And then our AC went out. One of our ACs. So we have 5 units, and they're like, oh yeah, the units are from the 60s.
Oh great, thanks.
Good luck.
We fixed it. We put some duct tape on it. You're good.
Yeah.
So everything's great. It's so
that's gonna happen no matter what. There's always gonna be those little things that test you a little bit.
There's so many things that are gonna test you. You just gotta honestly brush it off and just keep moving. But our plants have been showing the results. They've been so beautiful lately. It's been unbelievable. Yeah. We've been pulling things out to sell, and we're like, what? We could have never done this. And it's been a month, dude. And we're like,
you could have never grown that plant at the house.
Never.
Yeah.
Why? What's the difference?
We had too much inventory.
We still do.
We were producing too much and propagating.
Plants
and
are like this.
too
They're
much.
in bins
They're all
that haven't been opened in 2 months.
So now that you can give them you can give them room to spread and.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Spread their legs, and now we're getting leaves this big from plants that were the leaf jumps up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The way.
Yeah,
just in a month, what we've grown and what we're very excited for the future. So
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I'm not sure if we answered your question.
I know. I don't.
No.
We always go on a tangent.
Yeah, no, we're just chatting. So the lighting and the humidity you felt has been pretty. You have that dialed in, and within the warehouse, it's easy to control your house.
Well, we like to sell at to people. Okay, how do I word this? I want to sell plants that people are going to be able to put in their homes.
Yeah.
Because that's mostly where everybody's growing is in their living room or, their side table or whatever. I want them to be able to just put it there. And it's not going to go into crazy shock. Because sometimes you can order a plant from Florida, for example, and it's 100% humidity and it's
in a
100
greenhouse
degrees and it's so hot. And then you put it in your house and it's super sad. Yeah. So we grow all of these philodendron monstera are grown pretty much ambient. There's no special. We don't add any humidifiers. We don't do anything like that.
Are they on pebble trays?
They are on pebble trays. So that's the only thing that they're getting humidity from.
That's mainly not even for humidity. That's for the roots. So the roots have somewhere to go. So sometimes when the roots come out of the bottom of the pot, if they're on a plain tray, they'll just dry out. But if they have pebbles, we'll have a chance. We'll have a couple more days to repot them, and it will catch the roots. So they're still healthy. And
but our anthurium are grown in tent just for more controlled humidity, but it's still lower than growing in like a
But
tropical
still, we don't
environment.
add humidifiers.
Yeah, we don't add any humidifier.
Mhm.
And it's maybe 60 to 70. We don't like to spoil them because then they become sassy.
Yeah.
I want to go back. I want to rewind. I want to talk about weekly goals again, because
Okay.
I think that's an interesting concept, and I think maybe for a lot of people in the hobby, me included, and at least in the reptile hobby, I think because so much of what we do is we are looking out so far. Like I bought this gecko, now I have to wait 2.5 years before I can breed it. That sometimes we don't do a good job of setting short-term goals while those things are happening. So what would you say were some learnings, from doing that you found helpful? Was it just kind of like a nice mental checklist where you get to accomplish things throughout the week? And
Yeah, I feel like it keeps us on track for sure, because there's
Well-
always so much going on. You got to pack this, you got to ship that, you got to drive here, you got to go there, you got to water this, spray that, all these things. And
Even
it really
a lot of our
helps.
goals are very extremely long term.
Yeah.
Some of our plants take 3 years. 2 years to make seed. So it's like a lot of our projects are unbelievable. Like we have plants that are this big that took us 2 years to make. So I mean, even same thing. It's we're sometimes like just as long, if not longer. So we're very patient. But Lexi, the one thing about Lexi is she doesn't like to look too far.
Yeah.
So she likes to be
Why is that?
present.
Because I don't want to mess up what we're doing now. Like, I don't know. I just have like a very high standard for how we take care of our customers and just making sure everything is like top notch, top quality. I don't ever want to send anything out that anybody's going to dislike. And I want to make sure everybody's taken care of. And I feel like if I'm just too much in the future, I can forget about like what the heck is going on right now. I don't know. My brain's not always.
No, you're doing good. I get it.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just
Well,
how I feel.
I don't like-
I feel
yeah.
like if we're like taking people's money and like they're like shit, like we're supporting each other, I want to make sure that I'm supporting them by providing like a very high end quality product. And that's like my focus. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just where my focus is always at. I'm always just like trying to make sure that that's what we're doing.
I mean, you can
So we delegate really well,
Right,
though.
yeah.
Like Phil handles
very
all
important.
that
Very
part.
important delegation. Like sometimes I'll be like, Lexi, oh my god, she's like packing, and I'll be like, oh my god, what do you want to do this? And she's like, I literally can't think about that right now. Just shut up. Like shut up.
Like,
Like
not
I don't even want to
Thing at
know.
a time.
Do it, and it's gonna be great. I promise. It's fine. I just can't. So it's like that. I'm like that too, but I'm like very ADHD, and she's like on track, and it's like completely opposite, but it just like meets in the middle. It's crazy.
But
I'm like, oh my god, a butterfly. Wait, this needs water. Wait, oh my god, I'm over here.
he leaves a trail everywhere
And
he
I'm
goes.
just like, but I mean, I get things done. Don't get me wrong.
Eventually.
But, she can sit there and just like do it, and I'm like on my way to the sink to like prep a package, and I'm like, oh my god, wait, this needs water, and then I'm just like off, and then.
Phil multitask.
That's how I am.
He multitasks inefficiently.
And I'm like, oh my god, I haven't seen my earrings for 2 days. And I'm like,
Phil and I are cut from the same cloth for sure.
Talking about customer service, you mentioned that, Lexi.
Yeah.
And I know Phil you're kind of on the front end of the socials, right? You're the one chatting.
No.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Phil does chat. He deals with the messages.
Okay.
I deal with the customer service portion. Like if you're talking
If
9
there's a
times
problem,
out of 10,
he'll deal with that.
like Lexi will message them, but if there's a problem, it's me.
Or if you're just looking to socialize, it's usually Phil
Or
that
buy
socializes.
something, or like I handle mainly a lot of the sales and a lot of the questions,
Okay.
and I'll handle a lot of the actual complaint department.
But like
she'll do like
creative
the
and,
final,
marketing and stuff
like
that.
creative. And if you say something really nice, she'll get on.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, oh my god, it's great, and then she's like, oh my god, yay, so
Yeah.
glad. And I'm like,
Well, that goes in with like the
So-
like needing to make sure everything is perfect thing, because if it's not, then
But if it's like,
it's not good for
if
me.
it's like, oh my god, I need to change this, she's like, oh, red, left on red. This is Phil.
yeah.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, because I've bought stuff from you guys. You guys shipped it out over to California, and like even before that, I asked a few questions about like some plants. I think it was Lexi saw my plant that was a pink presses filled with like bug mites or spider mites or something. And anyway, I share that because you guys customer service at least from my experience, has been like super top notch. Like you guys were like very on top of every single thing, even telling me things that I would have asked later, but you filled it in for me. And so, how important has that been for you guys? And are you guys able to do that for every single person? Because I feel like you guys have a lot of customers.
Well, that's good to say. I was just thinking that we're not perfect by any means. Like, there's definitely stuff that like can slip through the cracks, but we always try to communicate with our buyers and our customers and our lives and everything. That if we didn't get back to you, just bump your message again. Like, you're never annoying. You're never like doing too much. Like, just remind us. So, like, we're here for you. Just sometimes you can get lost in the sauce. Like, the messages just always just end up trickling down in your inbox. And you can't see it anymore. And for whatever reason, it's unread or red, and it's not highlighted anymore. So it definitely can happen. But
when you get a lot of messages, and then we have
it's tough for sure.
So we have like 4 platforms that we mainly get messages, and then so on top of that, not only that, so like we're not ignoring you. I'm sure anybody, like any other, not saying we're big sellers, but any big seller, they're not ignoring you. You just probably have to message a couple times, and you're not being annoying as a customer to doing that. Just message again. Sometimes
half the time I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I forgot, or I can't believe it. They ended up all the way down here. Like, let me make sure it's.
And then it's like, and then I'm like, and then usually like they'll be like, oh, let me get pictures of this, and then I'll like. I'll leave you on red because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go take a picture, and then knowing me, I'm like,
you forget.
On the way
I'm like, oh my god, wait, and then
let me pet Sunny.
I
forget.
Okay, and then I'm like, oh wait, and then I'm like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was packing, and I go back to doing something else, and then I'll get the pictures, and then at 12 at night I'll be like, oh my god, I got pictures, and then it's the next day.
Well, and that's another thing that's different now too, is that when everything was at the house, we were able to just like immediately respond. Because you can just walk downstairs and there it is. But now we kind of have to push it to the next.
Now
day.
you have like business hours more so.
Yeah.
Back to the question, but at least I do. I literally talk to all the people, and I do try to answer like to the best of my ability. I try to create like some type of relationship and be 100% like they're like one of our like slogans is like, we treat you like family. Like you message us and we're gonna literally treat you like my cousin. I'm gonna be like, yeah bro, what's up, heck yeah man, just do this, do that. And I write like even people I never met, and I'm writing long responses, and I just try my best to, because like we don't get any help. I don't get any help. Like when you reach out to like all these old-time growers and breeders, and they're just like, and you ask them for soil mixture or what this is, and they're like, they tell you, if they tell you, got to kill you, So,
do you guys get a lot of complaints?
There's a lot of gatekeeping.
Yeah, in the
there's
plant.
a lot of elitism.
With reason, I understand that. You
absolutely.
build something,
some things, for sure.
You don't want to share all your secret
but
sauce.
the better that people can take care of their plants, they're more encouraging to want to get more plants and geckos and animals.
Yeah.
Especially from a care standpoint, I think that gatekeeping care is kind of pointless.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if everybody's plants and animals are doing well, that's going to encourage them, or that's going to instill confidence in them to buy more.
Yeah.
But like if I give out my greenhouse pest management, how we do it, that can also make other businesses succeed. So it's like at the same time, it's like people, it's like, oh, now my competition has my regimen for this, so now I have a less hand. I'm not saying that we do. I'm just saying, that's how a lot of people think, I've formulated this for 15, 20 years, and it's like, why should I? That's how a lot of people think, why should I tell or just announce this,
I don't think we answered the weekly goal question.
Yeah, we did.
But okay.
No, we answered.
We're talking about customer service.
No, you're good. We're talking about customer service.
Customer service, yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Do you guys have a lot of like mean, and so like talk? It's all related, right? Geckos and plants in terms of customer service. Do you guys get a lot of like mean or really annoyed customers, and then how do you deal with that? Because I mean, I think that's pretty common across the board for all organizations, right?
Honestly, I feel like everyone we deal with is so like nice and understanding.
Okay.
I mean, we've had like a couple weird instances, but nothing that we could ever like not resolve.
Okay.
Like we're always like, if there's a problem, how can I fix it?
Yeah.
One thing about us, and it's not across the board, and I don't recommend every business to do it, but I mean, we've always said if there's a problem, like I said, that results back to we treat you like family. So it's like if there's an issue, I don't even blink. And it's like either you're getting a replacement or you're getting a refund.
Or we're gonna help you figure out how to grow it better,
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna ease your mind because
we're gonna help you
it's
feel
not
better
dying.
about
It's
it.
not dying. It's like you're fine. It's okay. That's normal. It's gonna happen. Just take it easy.
Yeah.
Relax. And then it's like, it's one of the two. And then it's like if it's something happened, okay, well keep that one. I'll send you a new one. And that one's still alive. Don't worry about it. I didn't want it to arrive to you like that. If there's a damage, hey, there's a couple of these broken. No worries. We'll send you out another one.
Especially if they approach you kindly, it makes it that much easier for a business to help take care of you. And everybody usually always does. Like everybody's so understanding, and I don't know.
It's less than probably 5% of sales.
We try to communicate a lot of that
chalk it
during
up
our
to
lives
business.
too, and just like we always leave like the floor open for questions during the lives, so that I don't know. I feel like it kind of just like takes all of that out later because they already know the answer.
And not to toot our own horn, but I mean, even with Lexi, like she picks like some of the best quality things to sell. Like we have so many, like all of our stuff is ugly. Like even like if I have 2 plants, I keep the ugly one and I sell the good one. Even if it's a holdback. So it's like we try our best to really have like a very good quality to where there's issues really don't happen. We don't really sell cuttings or like stuff that's declining or even stuff that's cosmetically ugly, because that small cosmetic thing will grow and then it's going to be uglier by the time it gets to them, and then they're not going to be happy. Because I know I'm picky too. So when I open a box, I know if I see like a yellow leaf, it's already downhill. I'm already like, oh, like, so I already have a bad taste in my mouth from, whoever sent it, so it's like, then you're like, oh, well, was it too hot? Was it environmental? Was it like, is it his packing job?
I just don't like to leave anything open to like interpretation of like what the reasoning could be. Like I just want to, and of course we're not perfect by any means. There are mistakes and things happen, but like I said, there's nothing we can't resolve.
I think it's hard to be happy.
I think something that was that you guys said that was really interesting, when you're talking about your customers and how you say like most of them are really, generally understanding, I'd imagine probably a decent amount of that you've cultivated within your community of creating that expectation within your lives and within your auctions and things like that, where you've voiced that like, oh, if anybody ever is unhappy for whatever reason, something shows up, doesn't look good, whatever, people know that you are an open person to talk to.
Yeah.
That they're totally, there's no barriers to reaching out and having a conversation with you.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. We try to have outstanding, like customer service as far as that, and like even the satisfaction guarantee. Like we're like, listen, if you don't like it, send it back. I don't care. I'll gladly throw it. Yeah. Most of the time, our stuff is way too cheap anyway. We're like, like, send it back. I'm no problem. But we're like, we try to have really good product.
When we're explaining the plant or whatever we're selling, we just always give like a disclaimer. Like for example, we do like a new seed release, and in the community, it's not like you can't guarantee the lineage of the pollen that you put on it until you grow it out and see for yourself what it is. And I don't know, just like when we sell the seeds, we always just try to make sure that we voice that so that people understand. Like you can't guarantee, because people get in trouble for things like that, like mis-selling certain traits and stuff like that. So we always watch what other mistakes that other people have made and learn from that, so that we try not to make those same mistakes, and we learn from what people are doing well too.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I think having that expectation is huge. I always say it, and I know Brian Hu says it a bunch too, and a bunch of others say it, but like, you need to have a business that when you plan your business, you have to plan for being able to, if something goes wrong, you can't be like, oh man, made $500 and they'll go spend that money, before the person even receives their package. And then they get it in and they're like, hey, this thing's not right. And, oh, I don't have a replacement, and you don't even have the money. It's like,
that happened quite a few times.
That is very poor. very poor business planning.
Yeah.
So just having buffer built in either of replacement animals or product, or being able to financially keep a cushion to be able to deal with things that occasionally go wrong. Because the larger you scale, there is more issues. I mean, probably not percentage wise, but it feels like more.
Definitely.
It's probably
more volume, more problems.
Yeah, more volume, more problems as a general rule.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, I think that's
product too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Product, there's one little mistake. You're not ruining 5 plants. You're ruining 150 of them.
Yeah.
And 200 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely bigger.
Or just even just having, if you're the type that doesn't want to have any buffer or anything, at least make that super clear so that your customers know that
every sale's final.
All sales are final. Don't ask for anything really. Just have that disclaimer so that way your buyer is aware.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty fair too. If that's how you want to roll, then cool. But at least let people know so they can make an educated purchase.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. So you guys obviously have a lot going on between the warehouse and shipping and the lives and everything. How would you say your time management is as far as your scheduling and how you do that? Because obviously you could do. There's always something to do. So how does that look? Do you have your days scheduled as far as what you do when? Is it more, week by week or?
So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we pack. And then Thursday, Friday is all care for everything. So that's really the only time, unless there's an emergency, if something really needs water, really needs to be taken care of, or if we just got an order in and that needs to be tended to. Luckily we have help with the animals, so that hasn't been a worry for us much lately, but I feel like most of our time is towards packing and going live and care on the other 2 days. Really, it's a lot. We're here a lot.
Yeah. Do you guys have any downtime for yourselves, or you just love working? Some people just love working, right?
Sometimes we have downtime.
Sometimes we've been doing a lot of Sundays off.
Okay.
We've been doing a lot of Sundays off. We've been trying to. But now we have help full time. So
we have one full time.
One of my good friends came down from Florida, so he's been helping us full time. So this has been his first couple days on. So
that's awesome.
So it's been great. We've been trying to, so hopefully this encourages more free time.
Yeah.
We actually went home and it was still sunny out for this week for the first time.
Yeah.
But now the trick is going to be you're going to have to not fill that gap with more stuff.
More work.
Well, that's where I think it's going to go, actually.
Oh, no.
It's just, I don't know. There's just too much, I think, that we want to do and accomplish, and we only do that by putting the time
Too ambitious.
in. Yeah.
But we definitely, we start from we do from 11. We're trying to do from 11 to 7.
But it's most of the time it's 11 to 10.
So,
I guess you guys enjoy it a lot, though.
All you do is talk about what you have to do the next day
and
who you have to deal with on this in this message, or when the next live is, and all that.
When we
so
get
it really
home, we're
never ends.
Trying to put it away. We're okay.
What are your live dates? When are you going live and live streaming?
Right now it's Wednesday, Saturday, and we try to sprinkle in one more if we can on a random morning or evening.
Which we haven't been able to this
can.
thing.
Yeah.
And how long is that? 4+ hours?
It's 6+ usually.
Every time?
Yeah.
Oof. Wow.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, we just like hanging out with everybody.
And I'll be honest,
it
goes so fast.
It does.
I look and it's over. I'm it's crazy how fast it goes.
We just have fun and it's like we're hanging out and just chatting with everybody.
That's awesome.
I love it. Harry will text me and he'll be like, bro, it's 3 a.m. and Phil and Lexi are still going. How is this possible? And I'm like, I've been sleeping for 5 hours. I don't know.
These guys are machines. It's incredible. I remember your Christmas. It was
Yeah.
Christmas or New Year's or something.
Oh, the Black Friday live.
Oh my goodness! I was like, this
Yeah.
is a freaking marathon. I was so impressed.
That's our like biggest live of the year usually. Is our Black
Is
Friday
it like
live.
8 hours long?
It's like
That's
I think
crazy.
we did like 6 to 3 in the morning this past. So it was
Oh
like
my
an
god,
hour
I know.
ish, give or take.
that's
Yeah.
incredible.
We were like, my brother was there, like we had family and stuff.
Yeah,
So kind of like tag teaming. And
get the spinning
I remember
wheel.
that. I remember seeing there was a bunch of extra people, and yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. So you guys do Instagram and Plant Story on your
Yeah.
alternate?
Palm
Yep.
Street now, Harry.
Oh
Palm
yeah,
Tree.
Palm Tree. I
Palm
always
Tree.
still say Plant Story.
Yeah, Plant Story.
So what do you feel like? Because obviously the gecko world has not fully adopted like live streaming or selling online, and obviously a big hurdle to that is Instagram's terms as far as being able to sell on there. Do you think that is pretty instrumental to your success, being able to live stream?
For sure. I mean,
that's the majority of where you do your sales, right?
Right. We did. We still did a lot of Facebook. I mean,
the beginning of
started
our
on all
journey was Facebook.
Okay.
And we did a lot of Facebook, and
then we launched our website. We did a couple like website restocks, but then the live stream kind of just took off.
Yeah, but we did Facebook. I mean, Facebook was popping, man. It was so crazy. But then then you only can sell so many things. But then there was a point where Facebook was like super laggy, and then like it was like filtering you out and
lagging video. You were doing video on Facebook.
No, like purges.
Like purging, like so. If you do like a sale and then you post like in the comments of a post,
sometimes your comments don't show up.
Right, they don't show up, or like Facebook will like monitor you, and they'll basically suspend your account for so and so time, and it was becoming really inconvenient. So basically, it was just us looking for another way out, and then we realized, oh my god, we can connect with our audience, and we can get through so many more plans. It's a little more awkward, but we can definitely.
How was that transition to being on camera all the time? Because obviously now you guys have all the inside jokes with your customers, and you're comfortable. Do you still get at all like butterflies when you turn the camera on, or no?
Not at all.
I do, only because people start screen recording, and I just don't want to hear myself talk ever. So that's like the only thing.
Yeah.
But other than
That's
that,
why you don't watch it back. You can't watch it back.
Yeah, just with Adrian, I don't watch any of our episodes back.
Yeah.
I can't
It's
stand
so
I
weird.
can't stand my voice either. I can't stand. It's like it's so bad hearing ourselves.
I wonder why.
So funny. Everybody hates the sound of their own voice for
I
whatever
know. I
reason.
wonder why.
I know.
There's got to be a reason.
I
But
don't know.
when we started doing our lives, we started with like 10 people. Like there was not like we were just like constantly.
Right.
We just kept showing
We
up.
probably had like 10 people for like over a year. Like 5 people. 10.
Wow.
So you started right when you started in 2021. You went to buy.
Say so, yeah.
2021, for sure.
Okay, you just grinded it out now until now.
Right.
Years later.
We're like, hey, 10 people, dude, and
Put 10 people in a room. That's a lot of people in a room.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's always a good way to think about it.
right, and then pretty soon it was just kind of like grew, and before we know it, we just had 100, and we're like, okay, But I've always been like the class clown, like jokester, and I've never really, always like.
Never
And
take
I was
anything
very
too
like,
serious.
never took anything too serious. Like never took anything with a grain of salt or anything. So I was always very easygoing. I guess I've always been an easy person to talk to and socialize. So
Yeah.
you can't really tell me much that I haven't heard already. So I really, honestly, I probably make up for it with Lexi.
You guys are a good dynamic duo, though.
Right.
Thanks.
It's a really good dynamic for sure. It works really well. Yeah, the first time I jumped into your lives, I was like, you guys are hilarious. Like, is it like kind of like low key, kind of like deadpan, like it's kind of funny. I just love your humor. It's so good. And then I wasn't even into plants. I was just watching it to watch you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, you guys are so funny. So Sunny agrees. Yeah.
Sunny agrees.
That's so funny.
A lot of
So
people it could be a little dry. It could be sometimes. It could be like a little kind of like dry humor, I guess.
Yeah, it's great, man. I love it.
Yeah, it takes a specific taste,
Yeah.
Being in the medical field, we have a lot of jokes that a lot of people wouldn't find funny.
But that's also something that for anybody who wants to do lives or start a business or
Right.
anything, you just have to realize that not everybody's gonna like you.
Not everyone's gonna like you.
You're gonna find your people.
There's gonna be people that hate your guts, and it's no matter what you do, and it's like it's like okay, well you need 10 more of them. That's the goal. So get more of them.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. But
That's a good point. I mean, I found like even when we started doing lives, I think sometimes you're tempted to be like, oh, should I act different than like I normally do? Should I be 100% myself, or should I, turn it down a little bit? Can people handle the weirdness or this or that? And it's like people, the weirder, the better.
Yeah.
People love authenticity.
Yeah. Well, and the longer you do it, you can't even help yourself. It's all going to come out anyway. So you might as well start from the beginning.
Yeah. It takes too much work to not be yourself.
Yeah, like Gabby and I singing show tunes and her trying to get me to eat weird foods on live stream and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The whistling.
Definitely.
That's my favorite thing to torture her with, trying to get her to whistle songs.
I can never guess them.
No, nobody. I'm sitting 2 feet from her and I can't understand. And I know what song she's whistling and I can't understand it. That's why it's funny, because I know it's impossible. Like nobody's gonna get this.
That's awesome. People do get it though. They're trained. They got it. They do a good job. They come in fast too sometimes.
The worst is don't do the emoji. Don't do the emoji in the chat. It's so brutal.
Oh my god, you'll be there.
Oh man.
People send 8 million emojis, or like,
wait,
guess a number between 1 and 100.
I give it so. And it still doesn't. It's like
it's fun though. People like the chaos still though.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So what do you got? So you talked about your shipping schedule. So you said Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Oh, man.
So what does that look like? So obviously you have a lot of materials. You have boxes. You have packing materials. What does that look like? Is that like you're doing start to finish shipments each of those days, or the first few days you're just like
prepping
building
the
boxes, or like how does that break out?
We're kind of like getting our groove better now that we're in like a bigger space and we have some elbow room. But
that was one of the downsides, because being at the house is we're on top of each other and we can't even.
We couldn't
organize
the plants.
We had so many plants to pack that are literally like we couldn't even fit them in our house. Like we were like
stepping over everything, and the boxes were above them, and if it fell, it would break the plant. It was a whole.
The boxes, it was so tight that the boxes were falling and breaking the customers' plants, and we're like,
oh no,
this is it. Like
we're done.
So yeah, now that we have this space, it's better. Sunday is usually, if we have like a lot, we'll do a Sunday, but we try to knock everything out, especially now that we have help Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But Monday, I mean, like, let's say, for example, like, we'll pull an order, and then I'll pull, like, 3 or 4 orders at a time, and then I'll just, like, basically treat them.
Everything
so
gets
every one
treated
of our
before
plants
we
gets
ship
treated,
it.
cleaned, and sprayed down with, like, an alcohol solution to, like, rid of anything that could have been there. And then, and then we let them dry and basically pack them one by one. But, yeah, our boxes, everything gets built, like, kind of, and then it gets label made on the cart, ready to ship. But yeah, it's pretty, really, honestly.
We just kind of like Phil puts on a live or a podcast, and I'll put on a movie or something, and then we just kind of put our heads down and just get it done.
Put on some Joe Rogan, some Gecko Pod.
Gecko Pod.
Gecko Pod. How many plants do you guys sell per week? The average. I know it kind of varies by season, but just to get an idea of how many things you ship per week.
Anywhere from, I would say, roughly 200 to 300, maybe a week. I would maybe more. I don't know. It's about 2 to
That's
300.
incredible.
So individual packages?
No, plants.
Oh, plants. Okay.
Yeah,
so sometimes they're grouped up. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say it's like a little over 100.
Okay. That's
boxes
a lot.
every week
Yeah,
or so.
About 100 to 150, depending.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then AJ, you sell. I mean, you ship a bunch too every week, right? You ship like 50 boxes. I don't know.
No, not even. I probably ship like 25 boxes, 30 boxes a week.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
plants are
like-
crazy.
When we ship geckos, it's definitely different for shipping geckos than it is for plants. You definitely have to coordinate more.
Oh my
There's
God.
a lot more like coordination and customer service involved in it for sure.
Yeah, lots of communication with your customer for sure.
And a lot of weather restraints that make things difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
So with the plants, we kind of just like we ship it out Monday through Wednesday. That's
Right.
that's when you can expect it, and we ship out all year long.
Like people are worried about heat. They're talking about heat. They're like, oh my God, I'm going through a heat wave. I'm like, listen, sit down. I don't care about your heat wave. I'm shipping you this plant. Send you
Yeah.
another. How do you like that?
But it's 90 degrees, Phil.
Yeah.
What are we gonna
Shut up
do?
and make this plant.
It's 100% humidity and 130 degrees. I'm shipping it.
I'm shipping it. I don't care.
There's a
It's,
hurricane.
it's snowing. Yeah, all FedEx subs are closed. Well, guess what? You're getting plant. All right. So lock it in, buddy.
No, but I mean, if it is really bad, or if there's like a storm or something, of course we'll
Right.
hold your items. Hold the
I
items.
talk
but-
him out of it. I try. I'm like, listen, buddy, I don't even care.
and all the time it arrives fine every single
every
time.
single time. So
The worries.
Because you've learned all the tricks of the trade to ship safely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we definitely have our crazy. We definitely have a lot of tricks that we, we use a lot of insulation and we use a lot of paper. Paper in itself is a really good insulator. So we use a lot of insulation, especially if it's hot. We just all little tricks and stuff. We know we got so many packages that we know what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just developed our own little ways, and you can order from 100 people and nobody's gonna look the same. So
Yeah.
but we didn't even use heat packs for years.
Yeah. We kind of only started using them just to ease everybody's minds with it. The plants would still come perfectly fine without a heat pack,
Yeah.
but people would feel like a little wishy-washy
Right.
about it. So we're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we'll just provide a heat
I'll
pack
give
so
you a
that
heat
you
pack.
feel comfortable. And
Yeah. That's like cryo packs for the reptile
Right.
community.
Mm.
just if it makes you feel better, and that's by all means, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sure. But we never really at the beginning of our business, we never used heat packs in the wintertime. We just insulated, and then that was
That's
it,
it.
and everything was
We're
fine.
sending to Alaska, dude. We're sending everywhere.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. You get ships like so many that you have it pretty dialed in. Right. It's pretty comfortable for you guys just to pack and ship, and it's like a machine for you guys at this point.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
Like,
We
okay.
didn't even have to talk to each other. We just
You get a lot of repetitions in, so
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. And we don't even think we're quick. Well, she hauls ass. I'm like, she always makes fun of me. She calls me slow.
Lexi got
But-
it down.
She hauls ass, yeah. Like you don't even. Well, she's the type to sit down and she'll do it. She'll do every one until like we have to leave. But like I
No.
said, with my ADHD, I just
He
I'm
gets
so
up and then he doesn't
sidetracked.
come back for 30 minutes.
and then
I'm
it's
like,
like,
what were you
damn
doing?
it, And it's like, well,
Where'd you
I
go?
didn't. And I'm like, well,
Taking a break.
I have all these plants are dying. I'm like, I'm like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, we're not gonna have nothing to sell.
But that's another thing too. Is like
You know?
sometimes you just can't put your head down, and
It's like,
so
dude,
it's good that there's both of us because
It's like
I
you
can
go
still
there and
stick
there's a
with
plant
one
like
thing
this.
and he can go.
the plant, and you're like, well, I can't walk past that. I can't.
yeah.
All right, I can't.
No, I would.
And
It's
she
so
did
cool.
just like this. She was like,
It's so funny. You guys
Happened.
being
So
oh, you kicked
chaotic.
it. I'm sorry.
you guys
Yeah,
being
Very good.
He was
a
literally, like,
two-person
40
team.
blinders on.
You guys being a two-person team is awesome. 'Cause I feel like a lot of people in these hobbies often are,
Solo.
singles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is very true. Actually, we do know that, and that's a huge advantage.
That's a superpower.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's a huge advantage, dude. And we've known because we both worked like the worst jobs like ever. So I think we're just like we're stuck. That's all
there's
we
no
got.
other option for us.
That's all we got.
This has to
Yeah.
work. That's it.
It's like
Yeah, I love that.
Ruby Tuesdays or here, bitch. Like, yeah, it's like
Oh my gosh, I worked at Togo's and I worked at.
I worked
Togo's
at
in-
Taco Bell.
You worked at
Oh.
Taco Bell?
So
It was
it's like,
awesome.
It's
Oh my god.
No regrets.
Oh
And
man,
I
it's-
I feel
yeah.
like all of that stuff has set us up for the future. Like just knowing how I don't want to be treated and how I do want to
Yeah.
treat people and all of that. Like it did My mom always said that, like, the right thing will come along for you, and all of this is setting you up for success, even though I'm, like, bawling my eyes out, like, why is it like this? And it just ended up, she was right.
Yeah, builds
So,
character.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. You know, so like, when I think about the plant market, it's crazy. I mean, it's like the gecko market. Gecko market at this point is a little bit starting to saturate, but the plant market is like on another level in terms of its saturation of like the market and how there's like a million sellers, like Facebook. If Craig's people selling their plants. Yeah. For you guys found a lot of success in terms of your business and having a really strong community, right? And this started with, we mentioned it a little bit with your IG lives. What else have you guys done to kind of really solidify and fortify kind of that community? Because you guys, I feel like you guys got it dialed down. And how did you get there?
Well, we kind of like, honestly, that's what really drove us and made us like succeed even more, is just having the more availability. Everything's cheaper now. It's like, okay, well, before I could only get 5 of this plant. Now I can buy 100 of them because they're so accessible and they're so affordable now. So now I'm like, man, hey.
Well, that's always kind of been like our focus, is not to have the most expensive, like highest end item and sell to one person one time for the whole year. I wanna be able to reach a bunch of people and
sell to them every week.
Yeah.
I see.
And have like something that's more affordable, and that's what's so beautiful about what you were saying, is like how everything is just kind of coming down to like this more affordable.
Well, same thing, like one plant that was not, it was unattainable, it was like $3,000, but now it's like $50. But it's like, but that makes that plant so much more desirable because so many people can afford it now. So now everyone wants it. So now the plant you were selling 3 or 4 of them, now you'll sell 100 of them in a week.
Yeah.
So it's like the volume, but you're getting volume, So it's so you can even complain about it, or you can capitalize and just sell more,
So you feel like in terms of having volume at a lower price is what kind of drew the community towards you guys? That along with, obviously your personalities and whatnot. But
well, not really what towards. I mean, there's so many sellers.
I do think having really good deals and prices,
absolutely,
along with the
quality
standard that we set too, really helps.
Because on your lives and in your sales, you're offering, you're selling $15 plants and you're selling $1,500 plants.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of have a little bit of something for everybody. You're not so niched in where you're only going to sell the absolute highest end, because that market is this big.
Correct. Correct. But I mean, it's a fine line that you walk. I mean, like, it's like some people, the higher end people, only want to see higher end, but they know they can come in and say, hey, I want this. Do you have this? And be like, nah, we don't got it right now. Or we got it. Here it is.
Or if we don't have it, we'll make a note of it and we'll try and get it.
That's thing that's very important too. Like that we really do. Like if somebody's like, oh, I'm looking for this, I'll make a note and I'll make it my mission to have it in like next month, or I'll make it my mission to have it for the next time.
Is a big difference, obviously a big difference between the plant hobby and the reptile hobby is that buying and reselling is more acceptable within the plant hobby.
It was
importing is more, importing or buying from another seller to resell is now more acceptable.
Yeah.
Where in the reptile world, it's like pretty frowned upon.
It's almost the same, dude. Like, I don't know. Like, I still frown upon it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think you have to do it right. Like, at the beginning, like when we first started, it was so super frowned upon to resell or buy anything overseas and resell it or anything like that. It's a little bit more, I mean, it's way more acceptable now, but
it is a lot more acceptable. A lot of people, so many people do it, but it's just like,
but you still have to have a standard.
Like, we have a standard for our business that, I mean, we have everything's like a super long term. Like, everything's long term with us. Everything is years of waiting. Our seeds don't grow for 7-10 months. We're in the long term with everything. Like, why can't I hold an import order for 2-3 months and get it established for my customer?
Yeah.
Like, what do you need? I mean, I don't need the money like that bad. Like, I mean, granted, like, I mean, I don't care. Like, I rather myself kill the plants than pass that risk on to my customers. And then, you know what?
And then have to deal with those customer service
Exactly.
But you can't help it. It's not even the customer service too, but you can't help it. If I sell you this plant, no matter what I tell you, no matter what happens, no matter what you know, no matter how long you've been doing it, if I sell you this plant and it's dead in the next week, even if you knew the risk, you're like, oh my God, it's import. I know it's import. I know this. I know I'm getting cheaper. You're going to have a bad taste, and then you're not going to want to buy from me. You're going to be like, oh,
they sold me a shitty plant.
They sold me this. I know it's freshly imported, but still, I'm bummed.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want that. You know, it's like, I don't care if I'm making a fast buck. I don't care if I'm doing that. I'd rather sell it to you, you know, for a little bit of a markup, and I'd rather kill what's going to die and not make it, and I'd rather sell you a high quality item.
So I think historically in the gecko market, where we've seen reselling is in the low end market historically. So it's people buying in wholesale lots. They buy 50 geckos, 100 geckos from one of the large producers, $20 a piece. And then they'll go through and like cherry pick and try to resell for $100, $200 a piece.
That's been going on forever.
But now what we're seeing is import from overseas. So import of sables, frappuccinos, things like that. You know, they'll buy 8 or 10, keep 2 and sell the rest, but they'll sell them like a week after they get them.
Yeah.
From a completely different part of the world.
To me, that's so.
It's pretty irresponsible.
Yeah, you should take the time to make sure everything is okay.
Yeah.
For
like,
not just for the animals' sake, for your customers' sake too.
If you're a seller and you're doing this every day, like what do you gain from that? You don't gain anything from that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, are you like? It's not a good look.
You're in it for the long run,
if you're in it for the long run, and you're like you're this is what you're doing, like it wouldn't hurt you to grow.
Yeah. This is quick. That's a quick buck strategy. That's not gonna last. Yeah.
That's not a build a respected business move.
Exactly.
Because if one of them sables dies, then what?
Yeah. Then what are you going to replace it with? You didn't even produce it.
They're going to be like, oh, tough luck, 24 hours, bud.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to tell you.
Yeah. So you guys have built a strong business and found a lot of success. I mean, it comes back to customer service in terms of just taking care of your customers. And
I think so. I think it's a mixture of everything. Having a good quality product. I mean, having a good quality product that's nothing new.
But I feel like that
good company
makes you stand out against everybody else, is always having a good quality product, having your standards set high, and then nothing can really go wrong. Like you're already reaching benchmarks that others aren't trying to.
I tell people, I'm like, listen, whatever this is, even if a plant, like whatever, if they send me a picture and they're like, hey, I think something's wrong with it, I'm not sure. I'm like, all right, if it dies in 3 or 4 months, let me know. I'll send you one. That's how we do it, man. It's like, hey, we treat you like family, It's like I want to do it how I want to be treated, It's like,
do a lot of other plant sellers do that as well, or do you feel like you guys are on top of that?
Not that I know of. I mean, there's definitely some. There's definitely one or two that.
I'm sure that there are. There are also.
There's nice people in the community, man. Community, there's so many good people in the community. It's unbelievable. I mean, but there's also the people that they're not so good, and they're in it for the money.
Yeah. It's like the Gecko community too. There's some good people, a lot of bad people.
You want to hear.
Yeah. They'll tell you anything to make a sale.
But
Phil always says he's the worst salesman.
I'm the worst salesman. I'm the best.
You're like, don't buy it. You don't need to buy it.
I'll be the worst salesman. I'll be the worst salesman and the best salesman. Everyone's like, oh, I sold used cars for a long time. I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you.
You could turn it on if you wanted to.
I could turn it, but at the same time, I'm like, I tell people I'm the worst salesman. I'm just like, listen, this plant is a pain in the butt. This plant is really a pain in the butt. It loves water. If you miss a watering, it's gone. But it's going to come back for you, and it's going to do great. Yeah. But if you miss a watering, if you want a challenge, this is your plant. I do that all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is not for beginners, and I do that.
Everybody wants to not be a beginner. That's a great sales strategy. They're like, I'm not a beginner.
And then they're like,
I can handle it.
And then there's people that are literally like, oh my God, I want a challenge. Watch, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And then they buy it.
And
they do. But it's like, I mean, I'm just brutally honest. I'm just like, listen, when I hold something up, I just want you to know what you're getting into, because I don't want to hear it a month later that, oh my God, this is dying.
Yeah. You get the disclosures on the front end. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like you went this
extremely transparent.
But I think that's why we don't get messages about things going wrong or whatever.
I'll go on a rant.
He'll go on for 10 minutes about one thing, and
Well, the nice thing about doing live video too is it's pretty hard to hide anything. You know, it's like you're looking at the thing on a camera, everybody's seeing it, you know. It's pretty hard to be like, you know, misrepresenting it in any major way. So,
but the only problem is that it's hard. You can get misrepresented, you can get misunderstood, and you can get
words
taken out of context, and you can also, you don't have proof of that. So like on Facebook, like,
well,
I have my dialogue. I have my
I leave the YouTube up so I can go watch it if I need to, but
that's what I'm saying. But us, it's like, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't hear you say that. Oh, like, you know, oh, I didn't hear, or I didn't listen, or I didn't. And then it's like, we have no proof. Like, how do I know I said this leaf was bent before I stripped it? How do I, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't say that. So it's like, there's little things like that. But at the end of the day, it's like, hey, if you don't like it, I'll pay shit. I'll send you a label. You don't even have to pay for it. Throw it in the same box and ship it back.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but
our this is so small. It's like, we'll be surprised if we have one. I'm gonna knock on wood, but we'll be surprised if we have like one a week, and we're still like, okay, you know, something like that.
Yeah. Going to socials a little bit. You guys are very consistent, right? And so, do you feel like that has what brought you guys where you are in terms of not just Instagram, but also Palm? I was gonna play Plant Story, but Palm Street, because you guys are one of the top sellers on Palm Street, right? Is it the consistency?
Yeah, we always are telling ourselves, so we just have to show up.
Right.
Okay.
That's the biggest piece
show
that's
up.
hard. Yeah,
just show up.
Even if you're having like a horrible day, like you just have to show up.
Yeah.
Every day we're like, I do not want to do this.
But sometimes we're just like, oh, you go through the whole day, because we're here at 11, and then we go live at 7 o'clock. So you already have a whole full day of work.
You're like, oh, I'm dead.
And you're like, oh, I'm so tired. But then you show up, and then it's like you're just hanging out with your
like,
friends. Like,
dead.
It's like
once the camera's on, I feel like it gives you a little bit of like
life.
Gives you a little boost.
A little boost for sure.
Yeah. And then your people are there, and then you're chatting, and you're like asking them how their day was and their weekend, and like what they had for dinner and stuff like that. And it just like brings conversation, and it's fun.
Yeah. Maybe we should do more lives, AJ. That's not so.
We should do more lives. It's fun.
Because when we turn it on and we have, recording, and like we have to edit it and put it out later, it's still fun. But then sometimes if you're not familiar with the guest,
we can just do IG lives or whatever.
You could.
We should figure something out. We should do something where we
should.
Just like a Q&A.
Well, you don't realize sometimes you don't realize like you're the highlight of some people's like day and week. They really support. I mean, I'm not saying like us in general, but like people like we don't go live. People are like, oh my god, what am I gonna watch now?
Like,
what am I gonna do today?
To your guys' lives on the
auctions and the podcast.
Every
people
2
will
weeks,
set their
I'm
whole
like,
schedule.
I need to watch this.
People will be like,
and
okay,
when you guys do
options.
the Gecko Pod, I'm there. Like,
I saw such a cute photo. So there was a customer that watched the last auction and then bought a gecko and picked it up at Gabby's store. I went to Gabby's store on opening. Yeah, it was on opening day. And they picked it up and they showed me, they're like, oh yeah, it was a 10-year-old girl and her dad. Aww. And they're like, oh yeah, this is what we were doing. It was like them like laying on the floor watching an iPad, like in their pajamas, watching it. And he goes, yeah, I told her, if there's anything you truly like fall in love with, we can get one. Because it was her first gecko she had bought. And she fell in love with this gecko and she bought it. And they were just like so happy to like meet, and they built a cage at Gabby's store.
That is so cool.
And it was like, man, that connection like would have never happened if not just like you're saying, like showing up and being there. And
and I can apply for anything too. It's just like if your thing is like website restocks or going to
whatever it is, like, shows.
You just gotta show up, dude, because
consistent
it's
like, in whatever you do.
Show up, someone else will,
someone
and
else
then
will, dude.
You're gonna miss out.
Like straight up, I'm like,
this is true.
I'm like, dude, like, they're gonna take that back from us. I can't let
Phil misses one live, and he's like, "We're done. We're done. Hang up the booth. We're done."
Washed up.
AJ's coming for you with his
all washed up. We missed one live.
We're washed up. Like, who are we? We fell off.
So true.
It's over for us.
Oh man, I got triple pneumonia. You know,
Oh
Still
my
gotta show up.
both lungs and my heart. Yeah,
Oh.
nope, still gotta do it.
It's
That's
fine.
awesome.
It's
Honestly,
fine.
that's
good.
the only time we've ever taken off was when we would go to Flora-Fauna or go to a show in Florida, or if one of us was sick. And
Yeah.
that's really it. Like any other time we're
But
there.
those times that we're like, damn, we don't want to do it, it's so bad. And I swear they turn out the best every time.
Yeah.
And that's like the best time to do it. And it's like, and it just
Mm.
happens. It just hits, like something clicks. Like, but you have to do it. The main thing why you have to do that is because some days are off. Like, whatever it is, the first of the month, or it's like a weird time of year, or it's like really hot outside, or everybody in your freaking contact list is just like, or your customers are just not present that day. But the next time that you do it, you never know. It's like that little picture of the guy digging for gold, but he like
Yeah,
stops.
It's like there's this
Stops
up
right
and
there.
down on the chart.
Right.
You know,
So it's like, imagine you didn't go live that day, and you're like, damn, that could have been our best week, our best live, or that could have been our best sale, or or that customer, that's our best customer that we just never got to meet because we didn't go live on their schedule at that time because they were there. I don't know. I think weird like that,
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
So yeah, that's a good takeaway. I mean, for everybody, just be consistent with your socials.
Yeah.
Show up.
Vend your shows, post to your morph market, post to your
Yeah.
website,
Oh,
post
man.
to your story.
I need help with all of this. I
Have
need to be
something that
consistent.
people look forward to. Like if you pick a day to do your website restock or your morph market stocks or whatever, like pick a Friday, every Friday. Like
Yeah.
always are there. Even if nobody buys anything, you just always restock every Friday. Eventually someone will, and they'll know that's what you're doing, and they'll look forward to at least looking at what you have.
Yeah.
Even our stories, like we'll post stories of like something variegated, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, do you have more of that or have more of that?"
Yeah.
And then we're like, "Oh my god, do you do?" And it's a whole conversation. Then then they just buy a whole bunch of plants, and we're like, "Oh my god." Like we didn't do that. Like what? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Like why? Like that's so weird. Like
And we might not be like the most consistent with posting,
Yeah.
but we're definitely with the lives. We'll always show up for the live sales. And just
We don't post
just
often, but our stories are like always popping.
Yeah, we're always
that's good.
It's harder to like make a nice curated like feed and all of that. So it takes a little bit more effort.
I mean,
but
it looks great.
Yeah.
You guys did a great job over here with your.
That's all
Thank
Lexi.
you.
I'm actually banned. If I post something, it'll be deleted.
he is banned.
Why?
So-
Why are you just posting random
He
stuff?
doesn't know the vibe, Harry.
Oh,
That's not my job. I don't
You
have
should
eyes,
see
brother.
his camera
I don't
Oh,
have
no.
horrible.
So this is all Lexi.
His
This is all you,
camera
Lexi.
roll is just all
Yo,
engines
please
that have
hold
been
it down.
taken apart.
It's like a thumbnail and like the plant is like thumb, and I'm like, you can't have your thumb in the picture,
legally
like
blind.
your toes, like your Crocs.
So are you really blind? Legally blind?
I'm legally blind.
He's not
Are you?
legally
I mean, not legally blind. Are you colorblind? One of you guys is, but besides
Yeah.
AJ.
He's
Ah,
blind.
Phil's colorblind.
All the
Oh
best
my-
people are colorblind, Harry. You
Oh
should
my
know.
goodness. This is
People tell
wild.
me I am. She always tells me it's purple, it's black. I don't know.
He like wears green and red together, and he's like, I'm like, you can't wear that together, like Christmas colors in like May or whatever. And he's like,
What's
no,
wrong
it's
with that?
brown. I'm like, no, it's red.
I'm like, this is brown.
I bought pink pants once. I bought a purple coat. Purple.
No way.
I bought a purple winter coat once. Yeah, and I bought pink khaki pants once.
How long did you wear that for though? Before somebody told
I think I wore the pants like twice,
This is
and
great.
then
Oh
the
my
coat
God.
the coat I brought home, and I didn't even take the tags off of it. But
Oh man.
I told my wife, I'm like, check out, I got this killer deal on this coat. She's like, yeah, it's purple. I'm like, what? I thought it was black.
Blacks and purples get me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
That
hilarious.
purple.
the blurple.
It was
That's
like,
great.
I'm like, I thought it was like charcoal gray,
Oh no.
like it was like 75% off.
Dang. She
Makes
should've
sense.
walked around in that for a bit.
I know. I should have just owned it and just rocked it.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Look like Mr. T.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh man. Yeah. I eventually I gotta ping you guys again about some of my plants. I'm like, how do I grow these things? They're alive. They're all alive, but
They
I
are.
have to grow
Carla's doing
them.
good.
The Carla? My Carla's good. Let me pull out really quick. I'll show you.
Hey, not to mention that Carla right there. Everybody is looking at that thing. I don't know what it is, but they become so hot.
You got a dime a
That
dozen.
no, like his particular one that he got, that cross is like really sought out. There's so many like search shows of it.
Look,
I'm like,
it's the same. It's
I'm
it grew
like-
up- It grew a leaf, but it's like pretty much the same size.
Oh my god.
So cute.
That's
That
really
looks
good.
really
Wow.
good.
I love that.
This one's a little. Maybe I gotta water it more. Is it browning because it's
You
not
have
as
it
water?
moss still?
Oh, we gotta get it out of moss for you.
We'll send you some.
We'll send you
We'll
some
send you some
substrate.
seedling mix.
Hold on.
Yeah,
It's too
Straight
shiny.
on that stat. If you repot it, it'll
Hey,
blow
look
up.
at the roots though. It looks great.
It'll
Hey, the
blow up.
roots look great, but I don't know how to grow this thing, so I need
Doing
help.
good.
Yeah, we'll
We'll repot it
We'll
for
send you
you.
some seedling mix, and then you'll repot it, and it'll do
It'll
great.
blow up.
Okay.
It'll blow
Okay. Yeah.
up.
You walk me through it, and then I'll get it done.
Definitely.
Harry, you should complain to Phil and Lexi about that leaf. It's turning a little yellow on the edges.
Guys, it's been 6 months.
it's
What happened? What's going on?
All sales are final.
Return it.
It's been 24 hours.
That's what happens with moss. Moss is like very acidic and it's like hard to. So
Yeah.
it's like tends to do that. You see all the algae build up.
Yeah.
It's ready.
You want to get
Okay.
it out of here too.
Okay. I was gonna do it. I was gonna like Google it and do it, but then I was like, I'm gonna kill this thing if I move this.
Oh, don't touch it
No,
without us.
we'll
Don't
send
touch
you.
it.
Yeah.
I say all of our plants come with lifetime
Care.
care guides.
Lifetime care.
All of our
Okay. All right.
animals come with lifetime care guides, so never
All
hesitate.
right. We'll dial it in.
I
And then
actually get upset when people do things without notifying me.
Don't do that. Talk to me first.
He's like,
Yeah, bro, you're killing your plant.
I'm like,
why
I tell
would you
people, I'm like,
repot that?
why would you do that? Like, I'm here. Like, why would you do that? I'm
Yeah,
like, why,
yeah.
what in your right mind? Like, I sent it to you in the
Oh,
most
I didn't want to
expensive
bother you.
and like well curated soil mixes. Like, why did you repot? Like, what in the world made you do that? And she's like, I don't know. It's just it came in. I don't know. And it ended up in another pot. And I'm like, ma'am. Yeah, I just do that. Yeah, it's like
That's funny.
it's funny, but people just don't. They just do what they're doing. I don't know. They just
Yeah,
go.
I don't know what I'm doing. I have it in the tent over here, so that's what's making it survive. Otherwise, it'd be
Right.
dead. So.
We
I have
got
a
you.
funny humor, even in chat. Like even with people, I'm like, what are you doing?
That's funny.
You know.
Cool. So yeah, we'll kind of start landing. What are some things you guys want to hype up? Things you want to plug? You guys have lives every Wednesday and Saturdays. You said.
Wednesday,
Where can we find you?
Saturday. Right now we're doing Palm Street. We're gonna sprinkle back in some Instagram stuff.
We are.
And Palm Street is what for those that don't know?
Palm Street is a plant and crystal selling like live sale platform.
Okay.
They sell plants and crystals right now, and then I think they're going to be expanding to animals in the future. Maybe.
Reptiles, maybe.
Yeah.
Yay. And then that's an app on your iPhone or
Yeah.
your Android. Okay.
Shout out. Yeah, it's been very it's been very convenient. So we definitely check us out if you haven't. We are doing also. We just got.
Yes.
Should we announce it? We did.
Yes.
Wait, when is this gonna
Wanna
come
hear
out?
Huh?
When is this gonna come out?
When is what
The
coming
live
out?
or this podcast?
Tomorrow.
Oh,
Tomorrow?
no. Well, no. What's today? Today's Thursday. Yeah. Okay. I'll edit it tonight, and I'm gonna post it. I'll try to post everything up by tomorrow morning, Friday. So this
Whoa.
will be Friday.
Quick turnaround.
Is it too soon?
No, say
Is
it.
it?
Well, it's not. It really is not a big
It's not
deal.
a
But
big
we're vending the International Aeroid show.
First,
This-
it's like the 47th anniversary. The Airwood show. So it's the biggest plant show in the entire world.
In Miami, right?
Yeah.
Or that area.
Okay.
Yep, it's in Miami.
So-
It's in September, the end of September. So we'll be
Sweet.
vending.
Yep. We're
I might see you guys there. I might go down.
You should.
Yeah, we're vending and sponsoring. So definitely, you should definitely. We got a ticket, man. We'll get you 50% off.
Sounds good.
But yeah,
Excited.
because
You guys have
our in-laws are actually right down the street, basically like 30 minutes from.
Oh, perfect.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we stay there. We go there every 2 months. We go to Florida, so
That's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll
Yeah.
be vending the Aeroid show in September.
that's really exciting. So
It's kind of a big
it's kind
deal.
of a big deal.
We don't do
Yeah.
many shows.
We don't do many
we
shows.
do flora fauna
one
and
or
we
two
do-
shows.
and now we'll do this show, and that's really it. We
So-
don't
Your 2 shows.
do many shows.
You're not doing the Greensboro Repticon?
No.
What?
I know it's so weird. There's actually Winston-Salem one, and then there's like another random plant and reptile show that I've never heard of. Like I feel like they're just popping up left and right, but it's in Charlotte. And I'm
Charlotte, yeah.
Like,
It's some guys based out of Denver, Colorado.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You've seen them too.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
so
I'm
random.
hoping Flora Fauna comes to North Carolina.
Me too.
That'd be fun.
Wait,
It'll be easier.
That'd be
Easier
really
for me.
nice.
hint, hint.
Everybody ask Gabby.
Gabby, Gabby, you might
Wow.
not be watching this, but somebody forward this to Gabby. We want to. We went for fun in North Carolina. Awesome, cool. And then you guys have extra merch and whatnot. Is that a new shirt you have on, Phil?
Oh my god,
Oh,
no,
this
that's
one's
the
old.
one.
Old
This
one,
is-
okay.
Like one of the first shirts we ever made
Yeah.
for like our first ever like pop-up thing that we did locally.
Yeah.
Dang.
Had like one
Vintage.
shirt and then one shirt made for me.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have new merch hopefully for the air raid show, so we'll
Cool.
work
Yeah,
on, we're gonna
we're
work
working
on
on-
having all new
We'll
stuff.
get some new stuff.
Awesome.
And,
And then, where do people chat with you the most? Facebook, Instagram, or all of the above?
Instagram.
definitely Instagram.
IG. Okay, cool.
Facebook usually.
Talk
I
to
don't.
Phil.
Yeah, it's my personal on Facebook, but I'm in all the groups.
My DMs
Usually,
are closed.
most of my groups. Do not contact her. She will not answer,
I don't
and she will
answer.
actually ignore you.
She will ban you and block
She
you.
will ban you,
She
block
doesn't want to be
Do not-
bothered. Nobody have messaged Lexi on
Do
Instagram.
not slide into
I tried
Lexi's
to-
DMs.
I try
No
to keep
DMs.
the delegating
you. Right.
like even like that's his job. I don't
Right.
want to
So
even get
all
in the middle
customer
of
service
any
and,
of that.
and
So,
inquiries are through me. So
Yeah.
Cool.
so they
Sounds
message me and like Phil message them.
yeah, and then she's like, message Philip, like, who are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Don't message me.
Who are you?
But you can message us on Instagram.
All right, cool. And then you guys are both on there. You guys kind of share the messaging.
Yeah, we share. We
talk
go back
to
and forth. If
Yeah.
you're nice, yeah, Lexi will more likely
I'll send you some
a
hearts.
couple. So, a couple
Yay.
things.
And you're at Fontanimal Plant House on IG. On website is fontanimalplanthouse.com and Facebook and whatnot.
Yep.
And Palm Street. Type them up.
Yeah, hopefully we're a lot more active on our website. We've been slacking. We've been so busy with this move and transition. Hopefully in the next couple weeks we get on our feet and we're more active on our website.
Yeah.
And do like periodic restocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Awesome,
yeah,
man.
Cool.
you know,
Well, thank you guys. This has been
Thank
awesome.
you guys. Yeah, we really
Thank
appreciate you
you.
guys. Hang tight for 1 minute after we end, and then we'll do a little preview thing. But we appreciate you guys, and hopefully people will learn even from the Gecko world. Like I always tell AJ, like dude, Phil and Lexi, awesome. Like so much to learn from them in terms of just how you guys organize, how you guys do business, how you guys are so passionate about what you guys do. Like you guys are a huge inspiration to me. So really appreciate you guys.
oh
Aw,
my god, stop.
thank you.
Yeah.
That's why you're here, because we feel
That's
like
why
you guys
guys
are
talking to Phil
you
and
just
Lexi.
do what you do excellently. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so
Appreciate it.
nice.
That does mean a lot.
It does.
Yeah. You guys are awesome. So everyone go check them out. Phil and Lexi, Fontanimal Plant House. Appreciate you guys. Oh,
There
so
it is.
sweet. Oh,
I can't do it with Harry.
Wait, let's
Oh,
do it.
wow.
No, I can't. I'm not
Guess
cool
what?
enough. I'm gonna fail. We'll do,
Right there,
we'll do
AJ.
these.
Put it in your screen. Put it in your screen right here.
No, I'm gonna fail. I don't.
Use.
Which
The other
which
way.
hand? My
Yeah.
camera's mirrored.
They're mirrored. Oh, they are mirrored.
I'm mirrored. I can't do it.
We failed. We're not.
That's why I said I couldn't do it. Okay, we failed.
All right, guys.
All right, see you
We're
guys.
gonna go.
Bye.
Guys, bye.
Bye.